If you're somebody who dropped out of college to become an entrepreneur like I did, or if you're somebody who just graduated from college and you know that entrepreneurship is the path forward, I want to talk to you for like 10 to 15 minutes, and I would be grateful if you sit here to listen to me, because over the last couple of years I've grown my business successfully, my marketing agency, I've grown my family business very successfully, and I've got a whole bunch of wisdom to share for you if you will listen to me on how to go from being a college dropout or a college graduate to becoming a very successful entrepreneur. So with that being said, I don't make wishy-washy, weak, motivational business content. I hate that type of shit. I make practical, hard, applicable advice for young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general. So what you're going to get if you stick around for the duration of this video is 3 shifts in perception that you have to have, that are crucial for you to have if you're going to go from a student to an entrepreneur. 3 crucial pieces of business advice that I can give to you to be successful that have worked for me, and then 5 real-world business skills that you must master that they don't teach you about in college. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it in 3, 2, 1. So the very first thing we'll do to kick things off is to look at the 3 shifts in perception that are absolutely necessary for you in going from student to entrepreneur, because those are 2 totally different modes of being. An entrepreneur is someone who creates, a student is someone who consumes. So before I get into those 3 shifts in perception, I ask that you please drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're looking for financial content, stocks, investing, entrepreneurship, or cybersecurity, because I'm a little bit of a nerd too, or just talks on life in general from the perspective of a young entrepreneur. You're somebody else who's out there trying to make it, be the person in their family that goes and makes it big. We're like-minded people. I ask that you subscribe to the channel, come along, be a part of what I got going on here with Renaissance Resurrection. So other than that, now we'll get into the shifts in perception. So the very first shift in perception is, just because you are not in school anymore does not mean your education is over. It actually means it's just now really starting, your real world education. The world of academia, the walls of academia, they're broken down now. You're in the real world. Your education is not over. Just because you got your degree does not mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Albert Einstein said, true education is not the learning of facts, but is actually the training of the mind to think. And this is your real education now. You have to process real world issues. You have to deal with people. You have to deal with power struggles and relationships. You have to deal with politics in the workplace. You have to deal with casting your vision, holding yourself accountable. These are all real world skills that you have to go and get now, that you have to go and develop now. Your real world education begins now that you're out of school. The second shift in perception that you have to have is that discipline is crucial. No one is going to give you direction now. There is no curriculum for you. You must determine your schedule and your own curriculum. You must hold yourself accountable. There's no degree plan. There's no classes that you have to show up for on time. There's no teacher that's giving you a grade telling you what you're doing right and wrong. You are your own teacher now. You give yourself your grade by your expectations and how happy you are and how satisfied you are with yourself. There is no curriculum. There's no nothing in real life other than the vision that you, if you're an entrepreneur, the vision that you cast for yourself and the degree to which you hold yourself accountable to achieving that vision. That's all there is. There is no curriculum. Discipline is vital. That's a huge perception shift that you have to have. And number 3, I saved this one for last in the perception list because this one kind of stings. You have to forget 80% of what you have learned in college, and this is the real kicker, you have to forget how you learned from college. You see, in college, what, in my opinion, and the reason I dropped out is because college is a factory for employees. They teach you to do everything that you're told, or else you get punished, you fail, do everything you're told, on your deadlines. It's being treated like an employee because someone else is having you do it. Of course, you still have to hold yourself to that standard in your business and your own life, but that's the difference between being an entrepreneur and an employee, is holding yourself to that standard, not somebody else holding you to that standard. So, you have to forget 80% of what you've learned, which is having someone else tell you what to do, and also, you have to unlearn, and this is throughout the entire education system, not just college, you have to unlearn the fear of making mistakes. In college and throughout school, we are taught to not make mistakes. If you make a mistake, if you get an answer wrong, you get penalized, you get punished, you get held back. It's a bad thing to make a mistake. In real life, mistakes are crucial to learning, and you cannot fear making them. See, here is what I mean by you have to change how you learn. You see, in college and in school in general, the way that they teach you, the model that they go on is first you learn, then you do, and then you make mistakes. That is not how the real world works, and that is not how people learn the most efficiently. And you have to change how you learn to first you do. You have to flip it backwards. First you do. First you take action. Then you make mistakes. And then you learn from your mistakes. You have to completely flip the paradigm of our education system on its fucking head in today's day and age, because the way they teach us is broken. Massive, massive perception shift that you have to have. So those are your 3 perception shifts, and now we'll take a look at 3 crucial pieces of practical advice I can give you on how to be successful in real world business. So the first piece of crucial practical advice that I can give you that has helped me to succeed in business is to have a extremely clear vision of what you want to achieve and a plan to achieve it, as well as a clear vision of what failure looks like and feels like. So this is something that I briefly mentioned in the previous clip. I said vision replaces curriculum. You don't have a curriculum anymore. Your curriculum serves what purpose when you're in college? It's, hey, I'm going to do these things in order to obtain this goal. The goal being your degree. It's a very clear set out path. I'm going to study this subject, this days per week, this amount of hours with this teacher, so that I can learn these skills, so that I can be able to do this thing after I graduate and be able to achieve this degree. It's a roadmap. That's what a curriculum is. In real life, there's no curriculum. Your vision replaces your curriculum. Now, when I say you have to have a very specific and clear vision of what you want to achieve, I mean like for me, I know that I want to build my house by August 28th of 2022. I want to put a 20% down payment on it. I want to have 2 acres of land just outside of the city. I'm in San Antonio. I want to have 2 acres of land. I want to have a warehouse gym that I can put all my MMA equipment and my workout equipment in, and have my truck in there, and have my workshop in there. I already know that I want my house to have 3 bedrooms, one of them my office, one of them my bedroom, one of them my spare bedroom, 2 bathrooms, my kitchen, my living room. And I can see it, I visualize it all. I have a deadline. I know how much I need to have saved to put those down payments. I know how much I need to be making per month to be covering my living expenses. All that. And I know the goals that I have set for each month of my business to grow by, to reach what I need to be at financially to be able to do that by that date and time. And I tell myself that, and I read it every day, and I tell myself, by the 28th of August, 2022, I will have $75,000 in liquid cash to put as a down payment on my 2 acres of land in Bulverde, and on my home that I want to build with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and for my warehouse gym. Like, I literally have it, and I read it every single day, and I have a video of me saying it that I fucking listen to when I'm driving around doing shit, and I see what my gym looks like. Like, the vision is so clear. It's so clear that I know exactly what I want, so I can go and get what I want. You see what I mean? That's the level you gotta get to. And then I know, okay, that's basically my degree, that's the end goal. My classes, or my curriculum, is the vision of, this month I need to be doing this much in revenue for my business. I'm gonna do that by signing X amount of clients on X amount of retainer per client on X amount minimum months on their contract. And I'm gonna hire this person at this time to be able to go and manage those accounts, like, and I have that all spelled out, because that's the curriculum for the vision to get to the degree, the goal of the house, everything. You have to have that clear of a vision. to get what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you can't have what you want, because what you want doesn't really exist. Does that make sense? So with that being said, your vision replaces your curriculum. You have to have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, a plan for it, and a clear vision of what failure looks and feels like. I remind myself, like, hey, like, here's where I'm going to be at if I don't do what I need to do, and what it's going to feel like knowing that, shit, I had this goal, but because I didn't have the discipline, because I didn't hold myself accountable, because I decided to be lazy, because I decided to live a sinful life, I wanted to embrace sloth and gluttony and instant gratification and low pleasures, I didn't get what I wanted in life, and now I have to know that that's a part of me that I could have been that I will never be. That's a piece of potential that I've lost. And I hate that feeling. I fucking hate that idea of that feeling. I don't even necessarily have to feel the feeling, I just hate the idea of it. That's how clear it is. You feel me? I'm fucking sweating right now because I'm getting so passionate about it. So, that's how clear it needs to be. That is one massive piece of practical advice. Alright, I'm not going to get too long-winded on it. Number 2, find mentors and like-minded friends. You become who you surround yourself with. You have to go and find, like, hey, here's what I want to do. Here's some... I know for me, like, I want to have a massive marketing agency. So I go around and I ask people, hey, who do you know that runs a marketing agency? I wanted to learn more about cybersecurity, so I said, hey, to my friends, who do you know that has a penetration testing business that can teach me about hacking and I can help them with marketing? I wanted to learn about stocks. Hey, bro, who do you know that? 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 That is one of the most powerful questions you can ask. Word to Patrick Bet-David. That's someone I got that from. One of the most powerful tools in your tool belt of questions as a human being is, who do you know that? Because you become who you surround yourself with, and if you increase your associations, you will increase the abundance of your environment. Alright? And number 3 piece of practical advice on how to be successful is live your life. Speak as though, think as though, and operate in your life as though you are already where you want to be. Old habits cannot come to higher places, to new versions of yourself. I can't remember the name of the guy who started IBM, the CEO, but there was an interview that he was doing, and they asked him, did you always know that you wanted IBM to be this massive company? And he said, yes, the vision was crystal clear from day one of what type of company that I wanted IBM to be. And what else was also crystal clear to me was that if we were not that type of company and we were not those type of people from day one, we would never be that type of company. And that's because you have to live in the present moment as your future self, your future truth. You have to live your future truth now. Although your future truth may be a present lie, it will be your future truth if you act like it is true now. Embrace your future truth. Figure out what that is and act like it now, otherwise you will never have it. So that's 3 pieces of super practical advice on how to succeed in the real world. Have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, a plan for it, and a clear vision of what failure looks like and feels like. Vision replaces curriculum. Find mentors and like-minded friends because you become who you surround yourself with. Ask, who do you know that, in order to find those people. And live, talk, think, and operate as though you're already where you want to be, because old habits cannot come to new versions and higher places in your life. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at 5 real-world business skills that you must master that they do not teach you about in college. Alright, so the first one isn't as much a skill as it is something that you have to be conscientious of, which in a way I consider a skill. It's your awareness that you're practicing. So number 1 is to be extremely conscientious and aware of what you're doing with your money after you make it, because that's what determines who's rich, who is poor, and who is middle class. There's 2 things that determine that. 1, what you do with your money after you make it, and 2, what you do in your spare time. A rich person, after they get their money, they take it, they say, okay, this percentage of money goes towards my living expenses, this percentage of money goes towards my assets, my stocks, maybe my land if you're into real estate, or whatever other form of retainer of wealth that you're putting your money in so that it's growing and outpacing inflation. They, say this amount of money needs to go towards paying my employees, it's broken all down, and then that's what they're doing with their money. Whereas a middle class person says, okay, first I'm going to pay myself, then I'm going to pay for my liabilities, my car payment, my mortgage, my blah, blah, blah. And that's pretty much it. They're basically collecting their check, being financially responsible, but they're not putting their money into growing assets. They're not putting their money into growing things that are going to grow their income. And then poor people get money and then they go and they spend it and it re-enters the economy. Why do you think the stimulus was mostly going to poor people? Because the federal government knows that in order to stimulate the economy, give the money to the poorest people because they have a habit of spending it, which is going to shock the economy. If the government just went and gave rich people money, they would, to an extent, they would potentially use that money to grow their businesses and create more jobs. But if you're trying to jumpstart the economy in the short term, that's why they gave so much money in stimulus packages to poor people, because they know that that money goes around and circulates out of their pockets faster. Because poor people, once they receive money, they push it right back out. Rich people take money and say, how can I make this money work for me to make more money? Middle class people say, how can I take this money, meet my obligations, and save some? And poor people say, how can I take this money and go spend it? So be very conscientious of, are you handling your money like a poor person, a rich person, or a middle class person? That's skill number one that you need to learn and something that you need to be highly aware of. Number two, super, super important. Get very good at reading people. Read body language. Only 30% of communication is verbal. The other 70%, and of course, I'm just saying that because that's something I read somewhere. I didn't do the science or the study for it, but I agree with it that 70% of how you communicate is nonverbal. Like, would you guys really want to watch my videos if I was talking like this and I wasn't really looking at the camera, and every time I said something I was shy and I was kind of meek and my body language was... No! The fuck is that? It just feels gross for me to do, like, ew. So you have to get very good at reading people, read their body language, read the tonality of their voice. And that's super important for hiring and firing, because you have to know, like, based on the language that this person's using about themselves, about other people, are they asking more questions or making more statements? Are they seeking to learn? Do they want this position so that they can make money, or because they genuinely agree with the vision and the mission of my company? Do I think my personality would match well with theirs? Why or why not? Like, it's so crucial. And the best piece of advice I can give you to get good at this is know yourself to know others. Know yourself to know others. If you know yourself, you're able to read your own body language and be aware of it. Awareness, coming back to that awareness is a major key. Aware of yourself, aware of your tonality, aware of how you're coming across. You're then better able to judge how others are coming across in your own perceptions, because you understand how you're coming across. So, get very good at reading people, hiring and firing, know yourself to know others, and be great at team building. Because you understand people, so you understand what types of personalities mesh well together, and you structure people and build systems in ways that they work well together. Alright, number 3, financial intelligence. Woo, this is so important. Financial intelligence, shit they do not teach you in school, then maybe barely if you're lucky. Learn how taxes work. Learn how bookkeeping works. Look how corporations work. What type of corporation is best for your type of business? What can you write off with that type of corporation? What's your tax bracket at with it? Just increase your financial intelligence in general. Put people around you that are financially intelligent. Find a great accountant. My accountant is a pimp. I love that guy. He's so good at what he does. Learn from those people. Learn how to read your financial statements. Have financial literacy and intelligence. If you want to learn how to read financial statements, read the book Interpretation of Financial Statements by Mary Clark Buffett. Great, great book. Great, great book. It's all off of Warren Buffett's teachings. Number 4, understand and become great at sales. Quite simple. Not even just sales in general for your product or service, but become a good salesperson. And really, I know some people like get this negative connotation with the word sales, like, oh, he's a salesman, he's a salesperson. All sales is persuasion. I'm persuading you to buy my product or service. And you're also selling more than your product or service. You're selling people on why they should work with you. hey, I'm going to sell you on why you should work with me, work for me, work in this position, why you should be using this software instead of this software, why you should choose this higher package with my company than this package, not just because of more money for me, but because I genuinely believe that this would better serve you for the goals that you have. Like, you have to get better at sales and persuasion, and the best thing you can do to do that is to understand other people's wants and desires and needs, and then propose what you're offering as the solution to that problem. Okay? Get very good at sales. And then number 5, very last thing I'm gonna say, super, super important. Know how to build business systems. Okay? This is arguably, I was having a hard time whether I should put this in the perception category or the real world business skills, but at the end of the day, it's a little bit of both, but I decided I'd save it best for last. So really tune in right now if you haven't paid attention yet. Or if you're not paying attention. So, if you don't have business systems, meaning if your business is completely dependent upon you to operate, you have to tell everybody where to go and what to do, and you have to pull all the levers and you have to push all the buttons yourself, you don't own a business, you own a job. You are not a business owner, you are self-employed. That's a really big distinction you have to make. Word to Robert Kiyosaki, read Cash Flow Quadrant. That's a major distinction you can make. You either make money as an employee, as an investor, as a business owner, or as a self-employed person. The difference between a self-employed person and a business owner is that a business owner knows how to create systems to make parts of their business operate without them, or their entire business operate without them, and a self-employed person pulls all the levers, pushes all the buttons, does everything. You have to understand how to build business systems. And also, understanding how to look at your business as not something to provide you income with, but as a cash flowing asset that is constantly increasing in value. That is a massive shift in perception and business skill that you need to have, and it all comes from understanding how to build effective systems. Alright guys, this video ended up becoming a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I feel like everything that I said needed to be said, and I wanted to provide as much value as I could, because I know if you're just dropping out, or you just graduated and you're planning on being an entrepreneur, you know, it can be intimidating, you know. I remember that feeling of being like, wow, nobody's here to hold my hand anymore, it's all on me, like I'm really in it, I'm in the shit. And so I just, if I can do or say anything to give value to somebody who was once where I'm at and help them, then I'm gonna do that. So I appreciate you sticking around to the end. I hope that this video positively impacted you so that you can go and use it and this knowledge in your business to positively impact others. And until next time, guys, this has been Seth with Renaissance Resurrection. Again, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Visit my website, sethallen.biz is my personal website. You can find all my videos on there, social medias. I'm on TikTok, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Or you can head over to renaissanceresurrection.com if you want to check out my marketing agency and see if we can help out your business to grow to new heights. So, with that being said, I am out.